No, we don't really talk about this, but I believe the mass majority of people who get into watching adult film rated videos were either influenced by someone or introduced to them by someone. And I really started to think about how I was introduced. I was just meditating one day, hitting that good old Mary Jane, and I sat down and I was like, God damn, what am I doing with my life? Like, I have wasted so much cells, so much fluid in my life. I was just really like, as a man, it comes to that point. I'm like, damn, you get that post nut clarity type shit. And I was introduced to this thing, this adult film rated industry for a long time. As a matter of fact, I was in like fourth grade or third grade when I was first introduced. And you'd believe it was probably social media, or maybe I was scrolling, or I saw something, or an ad. It's so crazy how easy it is for you to just be introduced to this type of content. But I was actually introduced the old school way. No, I'm not talking about bad boy magazines or Playboy, however you call that shit. I don't even know what you call it. Bad Bunny, something. I don't even know. I was introduced through a DVD, and I remember that day like it was yesterday. I was introduced to watching adult film rated content with a DVD. I had that shit in a DVD player. Now, you see, when I would come home from school, I would normally go around my house. I would go searching for stuff that my mom would put up from me, like my games and stuff, because, I wasn't really supposed to be playing the games during the week. I'm from the Caribbean. My mom and my dad wasn't really together. I lived with my mom and my stepdad. So it's like I had a little freedom in a sense, and I'm there. I was looking around for like, games and stuff. They actually don't know about the story till this day. I always kept this within the brain. And I was looking around the house and I saw this like big cupboard like inside my mom's bedroom. It's like a dressing table, like a little dressing cupboard kind of. And there was a DVD inside that cupboard. I don't know how I found that shit, but I immediately took the DVD and I put it straight into my DVD player that was in the living room. And goddamn, that was rips. That was a total disaster. From since that day, I was introduced to adult film making content. And I ain't gonna lie, I felt a sensation, downstairs for the first time as well. And I was like, wow, what is going on? Like, what is on this goddamn TV? I've never seen humans do this before. And I was just mesmerized. And ever since, I found out the name of the actors on the DVD. I would rewatch the thing on the DVD to the point now I started to go on Google and I tried to find the source of like what even is this content? Like what do you call this? What is this? Like baby making videos? Like you know what I'm saying? Like some kind of baby recipe video? Am I supposed to search that? So I went on Google and I eventually found, the most famous website in the world. You know, shout out to PH, we're just gonna leave it as PH Balance. That's definitely what we're talking about. And when I was introduced to pH balance, I was like, damn, that's crazy. And I was scrolling and it reached to a point where now I became introduced to X. And this is usually how most freaks and these different like weirdos are formed, because it's like like they're being micro fed until the point where they become so like freaky and they need higher doses of like videos or dopamine to like get release and shit. Because think about it, it's like psychological warfare. It's like that hormone that you get from like spanking your shit, having intercourse, all of that hormone, you can low-key become addicted to it. And I was first hand to understand that, because I'm talking about top tier, like, what I'm saying. Right now I'm supposed to be doing a semen retention journey and I completely failed. This is like a battle that, like, as a man my age, a young man, this is something we're struggling with. You know what I mean? You gotta deal with the spirit of, what I mean, I don't even want to call it Jezebel. Well, what you call it, the incubus and succubus. Oh my God! But like that type of energy, that hormone as a young man, your testosterone is spurging and everything. You know what I mean? You might be strapping or whatever. You might have a girlfriend or whatever. It's hard for you to just jump up and say, hey, I'm not going to indulge into anything lustfully or anything sexually. Because if you think about it, you have to please your partner. You have a wife, you're in a relationship. You might have to please the person. I mean, it's the most natural thing to do. Making love is beautiful. Now, the issue is when you become completely lustfully driven. And I definitely went through that phase of being completely lustfully driven, and I still struggle with lust, but I'm not just as lustfully driven as I used to be. But back then, I used to be watching lots of videos. I used to talk to girls just for, like, linking up and whatever. And it's more or less when I turned 20. That's when I was like, damn, I need to like focus on what's more important. Like, yeah, the girls thing is cool, and the videos and all of that, and hanging out, and even things outside of procreation, like drinking and all that. I'm like, yeah, man, that shit is cool, but like a young nigga trying to see some money, we trying to see some motion, like what's going on? We want to see some changes, type shit. So I had to put my priorities in check. So I'm not saying I'm like 100% pure, but I'm just not as lustful as I used to be. I have a lot more control now because my mind is like really focused on the bigger goal. A lot of people in my family don't even know some of the things I do besides cutting hair. I have a whole second life they don't even know about, and that's how I like it. But you see, the moment you start getting into that Jezebel spirit, the moment you just really start pounding your shit, you're linking up with girls and doing this, you're gonna lose yourself. People can look in your eye and see that your soul is gone, because why? You've been sleeping around so much, man. You've been releasing so much, man. All them demons and them spirits flying into you and shit, man, because you have no pureness going through you. Pureness requires balance. There's no good without evil. There's no dark without light. Pureness requires a perfect balance of the two. Pureness is not just light alone, and it's not just dark alone. Pureness is just the perfect synchrony of everything, because like a frequency goes up and down, it's the same thing. So you can't be too much into that Jezebel spirit, because you're gonna just fail. And you can't be too down either. You have to find that perfect balance in between. So too many times I see some of these content creators, they come online, they want to paint an image like they're doing semen retention, they're too perfect, they're not busting anything. All these people, I would say keep your eye on these type of individuals, because yeah, the content might be cool and engaging, but I don't believe shit. I don't believe shit that they be putting on. Some of these people, they put this shit up for views, you know what I mean? And I'm keeping it raw with y'all, man. I'm telling y'all straight up, I still struggle with lust. I'm trying to do the semen retention journey. I want to go 30 days, but it's just hard, like not failing type shit. I ain't gonna lie, especially like when you're a young nigga on your purpose. But I'm gonna try and do that shit though. I don't want to let y'all down. I'm supposed to stay consistent in my uploads, you know what I mean? But I'm telling you, that introduction that I got to watching those videos and all, that just turned my life down. And it's not like I'm failing. It's not like I'm not getting money. It's not like I'm not getting action. But it's like, what is a man if he has no control? What is a man like if anybody can get your attention? What is a man like if you can't look at a naked woman and say no type shit? And obviously I'm not that low, but I know there's niggas out here that's that low. You can't see a girl naked and not want to do something. Like, I know a lot of guys like that, And I said to myself, I refuse to get to that stage. I refuse to get to the stage where men are into women that aren't even developed, women who can't really think so much for themselves. I refuse to reach to the stage where men would, sell themselves or go messing with other guys and stuff. I refuse to do stuff like that. Go talk to young school people and stuff like that. I refuse to reach to that stage, because I guarantee you, watching enough of those videos and doing all those freaky, nasty things in private is going to eventually show in public, and you're going to look weird. You're going to be a weirdo. You're going to embarrass your name. You're going to embarrass your family. And I'm telling you, that's usually where the stages reach. Want to know how I know? Because it takes an inch before it reaches a feet, and a feet before it reaches a yard, and a yard before it reaches a mile. Like there's like levels to this shit. So when you start off small, you keep wanting more. You keep growing up in the scale, because as I said, that dopamine, that hormone, is a very addictive drug. It's just like if you did any hard drug, you can get addicted to dopamine. It's just like doom scrolling. Right now, your attention span is fried. So you don't want your desires to be fried, and your moral codes to be fried, just because you want a little pleasure. That's basically what I want to talk about in this video. So I completely cut off that lifestyle in my life, and now I'm completely evolving into a whole new person. And I guess that's why I cut my hair, and that's why I'm changing my whole self-image and all of that. So we're trying to do the grind together. It's your boy Casey, man. I hope y'all boys enjoyed this video. We out this bitch.